In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Google Maps in Bush Trips using Cockpit Map. I'm going to use the Baltic Coast Bush Trip just because I haven't flown it yet. But in order to open Cockpit Map, I need to open some kind of flight plan. I'll just download something off the website. We can just go to the downloads. Actually, we can just go to the community page and I'll just grab this one. And then in my downloads folder, I'll have the zip file that I just downloaded, and we'll just drag these files back into the download folder. I don't care because I'm probably going to delete them anyway. Then I'm just going to open the flight plan I just downloaded, and it happens to be in Alaska, but it doesn't matter because I just want to open Cockpit Map, and then I'll load my Bush Trip. Once the Bush Trip is loaded, you can turn on GPS Follow and you'll see it places your aircraft where you are. Oh, I don't need my lap timer. Let me turn that off. And actually, at the end of this video, I'll open the correct flight plan for the Bush Trip. But for right now, what I want to show is without quote-unquote cheating, I can still use a Google map as I fly to follow the directions without having the actual route painted on the map for me. But I'll show you how to open the Bush Trip so that you can actually have your flight plan on the map if you want. Let me go ahead and start up the Cessna. Okay, so I fired up the Cessna and started up my glass cockpit here, set my CDI to GPS mode, turned on all my lights. There should be a checklist. Yeah, there's a full set of checklists for the Cessna if you don't know how to start it. And it looks like we can get a pushback if we want, although in the Cessna we should be able to turn on a dime. But I like to read my Nav Log before I take off. So this is a good example right here. If you look at the VFR map, if I'm following the VFR map, there are no road names, there's no river names, no lake names, but yet in the Nav Log instructions, it wants me to, let's see, gain a visual on Highway 11 and 24. Well, how would I know that unless I live in this area? Here's Highway 11. What's our heading? So at 146, so Highway 11 comes down through here, and somewhere down here should be Highway 24, I assume. Let's see. Oh, it's 10 miles away. There's 24. So we're looking for this intersection right here. With the VFR map, I mean, it gives you your route, and I'll show you how you can set your route in flight plan as well. But to follow the actual Nav Log directions, the VFR map isn't any help. Okay, so we're going to go find the Rive Cathedral first, follow the merged roadway, and then it's going to take us to the cathedral. So let's go ahead and take off. I'm going to go ahead and switch to satellite for the moment, just because it's easy to get lost, although this is a pretty simple airport, and I guess I want to take off on 08. Because we're going to be picking up Highway 11 and following it south. I want to taxi down here. Actually, I just want to taxi right here. I'll take off from there in the Cessna. Conveniently, we have a pushback available if you want it, but I don't think I need it. I think I can go around this way. There's no one in my way. So I'm at the hold short of 08, halfway down. Obviously in the Cessna I don't need any more room than that. I'm going to switch back to my road map, turn off my taxi lights, and off we go. Okay, once we're in the air, I need to be following Highway 11 here, which if I didn't have my Google map, I could certainly get confused with all these highways as to which one was Highway 11. Now, since we haven't loaded the correct flight plan into Cockpit Map, it doesn't recognize the waypoint numbers that are coming from the glass cockpit because we have a completely different flight plan loaded. But again, I can use Google Maps the same way I would use it on my phone. I always thought it was a little unfair that in the Nav Log they use a lot of highway numbers in the directions, but yet the VFR map doesn't give you that information. So unless you just know, or I guess unless you look it up before you start and print out a map, I don't know. I don't know what they expect you to do to identify the street names. So here's our intersection of 24 and 11, which again, I don't know how I would have found that using the VFR map. I'd have had to guess. And then we're looking for the Ribe Cathedral. Follow the merged roadway south to Ribe, which I have a map, so I can just find Ribe, which is right here. Let me pause. So let's say I want to go ahead and load the route. I mean, actually the VFR map shows the route, so why not show it on the Google map? So you want to open up the same directory where all of your content is stored. It's the same directory every time you update. It's the path that Microsoft Flight Simulator installs your update to. This is where all of the content is, and it'll either be Asobo or Microsoft Bush Trip. And then you've kind of got to use your imagination to figure out which name it is. We're doing Baltic Coast, but it's called Denmark and Swedish Baltic Coast. Yeah, it's probably this one. And then you drill down, there's 3 layers deep under missions, Microsoft, Bush Trip, and then the name of the Bush Trip. And then just open up the flight plan, and now we'll have our route drawn on the map, just like the VFR map. So we can go back into the Bush Trip, resume, and now I can just put myself on the flight path. Now also, by loading the correct flight path, you can see that flight plan is now recognizing the output of the glass cockpit, so it'll give you your real-time distance just like the glass cockpit does. But the nice thing about the Google map is not only do I have the cathedral that's on the list, but maybe this is worth seeing as well. Well, I don't know that we'll see that from the air, but you can look around and see if there's other points of interest while you're here, in addition to the point of interest the Nav Log is leading you to. There's our cathedral, as promised, and some other interesting buildings in the general vicinity. Let's see, is the Ribe Viking Center anything? It's right off our wing here. And that's how to use Google Maps in a bush trip. Oh, I guess one thing I should point out, the actual Nav Log descriptions use POI for the names, whereas the Garmin Cockpit renames waypoints as USR if they're not iCal codes. So what you'd need to do if you want to follow along, you can actually set your previous waypoint. You could also click on it. It'll select that waypoint for me. And notice it sets it as my current. So now when I turn on GPS follow again, now it knows, well, I don't know what USR 1 is, but the pilot has told me POI 1 is our current waypoint. So the next waypoint will be Marsh Camp and Tower in 6.9 miles, based on the flight plan that we've loaded. So that's how to use Google Maps in a bush trip, both with and without the route displayed, depending on the level of challenge you want. Again, the VFR map shows the route. I thought in the past it didn't show the route and you had to just figure it out, but looks like they show you the route on the map now. No reason not to load it in flight plan as well, and you can use your Google map. Flight plan is available at simflightplan.com. Also, the flight plan I'm using is a bush trip, so you already have it, but the Iditarod flight I used earlier is free to download and fly for everyone. Whether you have flight plan or not, all of the flight plans on our website are ready to fly in world map, and most of them use standard aircraft. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.